Today I'm going to walk you through the Data Tools Priority Matrix and how I use it with clients, and I'm going to show you today internally with a few of our initiatives for Data Tools, the way that we organize work, prioritize, and execute. What you're looking at here is two dimensions, and this is the way that I look at the entire world when it comes to data and technology integration. We have impact. And impact is measured on a scale from 1 to 5, and what we're measuring is what is the financial impact, either in cost avoidance or revenue. How are we actually impacting our enterprise in terms that make sense? The other axis here is the legitimate business pain that folks experience when you're looking at a business problem that you're going to solve with data technology. So we'll walk through a couple of examples today and where we place initiatives and how I present. I've organized this information in kind of a Kanban board where each one of these items fits into a priority. Upper right is critical, lower right is backlog, and anytime you have a high business pain with low impact, usually you're tackling those opportunistically. One dimension that's not on here is level of effort. It's something I've added in, but it overcomplicates things. At this point, we're not concerned about level of effort. We're concerned about focusing on the right things and what's important and what's going to drive impact. I'm going to go to my list view of these items, and there's two ways to look at this. We can understand this as technologists of what are the initiatives that I'm going to work on. I've got email communication, refining our user experience and onboarding, and I've got a product release for our Metric Analyst 2.0. These are initiatives. These may or may not make sense to the group that I meet with. The other way to flip this, and the way that I typically like to present these, are business challenges. This is the way that I relate not only what we're doing, but why are we doing this? Why do we care? You can see how simply flipping the script from what are we going to do to why are we going to do it, it totally changes the dynamic of the discussion and how you actually get resources to get things done. If I sort this by score, the number one priority in my list is the velocity and volume of semantic models is increasing. Now, this is the end customer's problem that we're solving as Data Tools Pro. Thus, the initiative to build Metric Analyst 2.0 is going to drive the highest impact for us as a company when we deploy and roll that out. The second problem that we're solving is that our Data Tools retention is sub 50% after week 2. That's a massive problem that if we solve that is going to drive huge returns for us. And anything below that number is abysmal. And the last thing here on the marketing side is customers are disconnected and lost how to proceed. And so if I click into this here, let's look at this problem and how we actually address and like how we really work through this day to day. This is the problem. The solution or the initiative that we landed on is building an email communication and journey strategy. We're going to fix our email onboarding journey from being stale. This goes to marketing. We have our line of business, so we can set that as marketing. It's go to market. We set a due date. When are we going to get this done? And then I can set the status and progress. And if I want to use AI Assist, I can indicate the benefit. This is where I get to lean on AI to further refine, same thing, impact, benefit. Now, what's really important that is how do we track these things over time? How do we relate this back to our strategy? If I showed you an analytics strategy assessment and analytics and data and AI priorities, we have a massive laundry list of problems to solve. Where this tool is extremely helpful is you get to start to ask the questions of what's the impact, but then you have that second dimension is this problem that we're solving, how relevant, how much pain does this problem really cause from a business perspective? When things are good, the business pain is low. When things are performing bad, the business pain and potentially the impact shifts. We're looking and setting our priorities for a static period of time and then measuring how we execute over time. Once again, this is one tool of trade, a very simple tool. and one that we're making available through Data Tools Pro when you sign up.